Here we are, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. Kevin, ZERAFA, K&J Lofts. Yes, the J is for your father, John.
That's it.
You're keeping the name going.
Keep the name going.
Here we go.
Come on in.
Now we're going into your breeding loft, and you have a very interesting breeding philosophy when bringing in pigeons. Oh, this one?
That's it. Just
yes.
Cheers, Ryan. Yeah. So basically, what we've tried to do over the past few years is where possible is buy the champion itself if it's available, which they're not very often. If we can't buy the champion because finances or just because it's not available, we'll try and buy a child out of the champion. So everything you're looking at in here, bar maybe one or two, they're either out of a national or an international winning pigeon.
Okay, so a national or an international pigeon. So they are all out of Supreme machines. And these aren't sprint pigeons.
No, they're all distance pigeons predominantly. Some middle distance pigeons, but mostly distance pigeons. We try to buy as close to the champion as we possibly can, because I just think the further away you go, especially when you're sort of dealing with pigeons that are, bred down and down and down from generations without seeing a race basket, I think you're leaving a little bit more to luck. Whereas if you buy them directly out of the champions, I think you've got a better success rate. You've got more chance of finding a good one yourself.
Okay, now this is a very open breeding section.
Yeah.
You can hear the happiness. Look at the cocks clapping around. Lots of grizzles, lots of war paint.
Lots of
couple reds.
Yeah, some reds.
With these pigeons here, what type of medication will you run them on?
So with these stock pigeons, they get treated probably worse. I don't know if that's the right word, but we try to give them hardly anything. So they won't get any treatments at all. We try to build up a natural immunity to whatever diseases they may encounter. When we bring pigeons in, we do isolate them before they come in with these. So we're not introducing multiple pigeons in all the time and different bacterias and stuff. But they get nothing, Ryan, really. They've not had a canker treatment for years. They've not had any treatments for years. They get multivitamins in the water. We give them a lot of electrolytes when they're breeding, because I think it's important that the pigeons get salt. And as we touched on earlier, they get the salt licks, which are out in the aviaries.
Now, this is a pink salt lick, and it comes with the strings on it. And what the salt drips onto the wood and onto those ropes.
That's correct. So basically, you see when we've been stood in the garden, as you've witnessed yourself, the pigeons will come out constantly, pulling on the string, and they're also pulling on the touching the wood underneath, because throughout the night especially, the salt melts and it drips with the humidity. It drips onto the wood. So the first thing in the morning, the pigeons will come down and they'll start to lick the wood and try and get the salt out of it.
And as you've said here, you found that the pigeons really like the electrolytes and the salts.
Yeah, so in years gone by, if we haven't provided that, we've gone to certain nest boxes and there's been watery drop-ins. But then as soon as we introduce the salt licks, and we put electrolytes in the water, it seems to firm up the drop-ins. The pigeons look a lot better, a lot healthier. So it's something that's worked for us. I mean, I don't know what goes on in other lofts, but here you can see, as you pan around with your camera, they're nice and healthy. The drop-ins are good, and the babies aren't squeaking because they're not hungry. They don't need anything.
Yeah, you leave a lot of feed with them. You let them take what they want.
They pretty much can take what they want. I come in and I feed in the morning, and I feed again in the evening. Like with most sort of mainstream mixes, they pick out the bits that they want, and there's certain grains in there that they don't really like. So as you can probably see, there's a bit of wheat in there that they don't like, and they don't like the maple peas as much, so they tend to pick them up last.
And again, these birds here are all predominantly distance to middle distance pigeons, and they are all either big national winners
Yep.
or direct children out of national winners. And we talked about it. Your thought is you want to get the fruit that's the closest to the tree.
Exactly that. So I don't know the science behind it or the mathematical probability of what you can get, but I just think the closer to the tree you can go, the better, the better chance of success you have. They say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, I think is the saying, isn't it? So that's what we try to do. We just try to buy as close to the tree as possible. I mean, in some cases it's not possible because they're too expensive. You can only stretch to what your pocket allows.
Right. But you found by doing this, you move up a little bit quicker.
Definitely, 100%. So we've been investing more money since around about 2017, and literally it coincides with as our performances have got better. So it's not just because we've invested the money. Obviously, there's different sort of things. We've worked a bit harder maybe with the birds and stuff, but definitely we've bought a better quality of bird, and the results have improved.
So there you see it, guys. Very simple breeding loss again, but you see the happiness open. The birds get the aviary. They get to come out into the rain. They get to feel a little bit of morning sun or the daytime sun, and you see it in the quality of the pigeons. Look at this grizzlecock, absolutely super. The best of the best here, Kevin. These are some nice breeders, I'm going to tell you that. It's super nice, and you see the health from each of the lofts. You see that it's the same thing. You're not winning out of a bottle. It's good pigeons. It's hard work. It's right here in front of you.
You've got to put the hours in. You put the hours in, you work hard with the birds, and they'll repay you. You have to have good pigeons. That's the first and foremost. If you haven't got good pigeons, you're wasting your time. You've got to have good pigeons. If you're working with mediocre pigeons, then you're going to struggle to get the performances.
There it is, right there. Kevin ZERAFA. Anything else you want to add to these breeders?
Well, one thing I will say is, obviously, albeit we are predominantly set up for long distance racing, we have had some decent results from the shorter races as well. One pair in particular that's breeding sort of fairly good youngsters for us. This pair up here, the two blues that you can see, Ryan.
Right.
Basically, last year we have a one loft race in the UK, which is run by the RPRA, which is the governing body in the UK.
Right.
And this pair bred the ace pigeon in that race, winning 11,500 English pounds.
So even in one loft racing, you're winning.
Even in one loft racing, they bred the ace pigeon. It was 5th in the final race, and like I say, winning 11,500 pounds. So even though predominantly we're set up for distance, we do have a few in here that can breed for the shorter distance as well.
Well, I think on that note, all I can say is, hey, I know we've got a little bit more to see in the breeding. I know there's a couple more special ones you really want to show. The best of the best right here. You're looking for the distance pigeons, the man that's got them, the rockets in his pocket, as they say. Kevin, I want to thank you for showing us your breeding loft.
Cheers,
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, Kevin ZERAFA. We are here at your individual breeding pens. Now you've put 4 of these in, and we got some very special pigeons here. I think you put these in, you wanted to make sure that your breeding was correct, and a little bit of security for yourself, peace of mind. Different location to where your loft is, which is good. Safe. You got to be safe. Safety is key. What's the first pair you want to show us here? Because I know this grizzle's a very special pigeon to you.
Yeah. So the first pair we're going to show you is the hen's Queen Mary.
Okay.
She was first NFC Tarbs Grand National in 2019 for Darren McFadden. It's the biggest race in the UK. Well, in my opinion, anyway. And she was first section, first open in 2019. 2018, the year before, she went there. She was second section, 26th open. So she's a fantastic pigeon. Unfortunately, Darren had to finish up in the sport, which gave me the opportunity to buy her. And she's paired to a cock which we call the Northman. The Northman raced from Thurso in Scotland, 547 miles. He was the only pigeon on the day in our section, and he was also the longest flying day bird. First section, 14th open. So paired the two together, winners to winners, or real good races together, and we're hoping for some sex, not some sex, but for some success with the children.
Successful breeding, that's right. Now that hen, as soon as she won, you got her.
Yeah.
Instantly. She finished racing, and you were the lucky winner. You bought her.
Yeah.
And you can see the quality in this pigeon. Now, moving over to the next pen. So this guy's a real beauty, eh?
Yeah, he's a character, this guy. He's a character. So this is her son. It's her son when she was paired to the Tarbes Grand National winner from the year previous. So in 2018, when Jimmy Wern and Eric Nielsen won the race, their pigeon Ernie's Blue Star, we managed to do some joint breeding, and we put him with Queen Mary, and this is one of the offspring. The red hen that you can see in the bowl, that's a hen that's called Chantel. The same year that Ernie's Blue Star won Tarbes Grand National, she was third. Same sort of scenario as Queen Mary. The fancier that owned her, or the fanciers, they had to pack up due to ill health, and she came up for sale, and we bought her as well.
So you like these individual breeding pens. Again, you're looking always for the winners to the winners. Or I mean, this grizzle cock here, this is a very rare pigeon. There's none of these pigeons around.
No, so basically when we did it back in the end of 2019, it was a unique pairing because it had never been done before. So first Tarbes Grand National paired to first Tarbes Grand National, no one else had ever done it. I guess because when you win that kind of race, the pigeons are so precious to the owners, they're very reluctant to let them go to someone else. So therefore it's not something that's very it's not a regular occurrence for people to do that. But me and Jimmy and Eric, we're good friends, and we trust each other. So we managed to sort of do the deal where we put the pair together, and we bred some lovely pigeons out of them.
Well, he's a super. Is something else you wanted to show here? Because I know you got the 4 pens, and you know what? We got to give love where love is due. The next one.
Yeah. So in here there's a cock we call Mr. Parsons. It's bred by a guy called Andy Parsons from Salisbury. This pigeon in here is the father to 5th Open Grand National Tarbes. And the hen that he's paired to is a half sister of Queen Mary. Her father is Snow Prince, who was first section 4th Open, and the mother to her is a pigeon we call Lady Supreme. Lady Supreme has bred 2 national winners and also a classic winner for Mark Gilbert. He put her up for sale, and we bought her, and we've bred some nice babies out of her as well.
So some more performance pigeons. Again, all for the distance. You want the horsepower to go to the distance. Kevin, you're the one that has them, and then we're going to end on the wildest note of all, but that's okay.
She's on her eggs now, Ryan, so we should be all right.
She's good.
She's good.
She was our Facebook star earlier. Who's this pair?
So the cock there is a full brother to the white hen that we just shown everyone next door. So it's out of Snow Prince paired to Lady Supreme, and the blue hen that you can see in the bowl, she was bred by a guy called Duncan Goodchild, who races under the name of D Hales, and she's bred out of a cock that's a Certificate of Merit Award winner. He was 3rd, 7th and 13th Open in international races from Perpignan, and the mother of her is a pigeon that he calls Mirfar, and she won I can't pronounce the name of the race point, but it was like I think it was a replacement for one of the international races, and yeah, so winners. There's loads of performance pigeons in those the pedigree of those.
Well, what a beautiful couple. Quality is right here. I don't know what more else to say. You've got the pigeons, you're getting the results, you love the sport. Is there anything really we need to add on this?
No, it's an addiction. I love pigeons. We all love pigeons. That's why we do it. That's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It makes you driven to work hard with them. Buying good pigeons isn't the answer. You need to buy the good pigeons, but then you need to be able to put the work and time into them. But ultimately, if you haven't got good pigeons, you're wasting your time.
That's right. So you got to have good pigeons. You got to have a good work ethic, and you know what? You got to stay like this man is. He's very positive. He had no problems going out and buying a super expensive pigeon that was a grizzle, guys. The color doesn't matter. Winners come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. Thank you, Kevin, for showing us these super couples.
Cheers, Ryan. On through.
I will slide the door shut behind me, don't worry. So this is your cocks section,
yep,
or loft. I guess I would say more of a loft than a section. And Give me the goods on it in here.
Yeah, so basically, as you can see, the pigeons, when we're racing, well, even during the winter months, but when we're racing, the cocks stay on the perches that are outside the boxes. They sit there all week, they go out to exercise or training, they come back in, they feed on the floor, and they go back on their perch. And then when it's basketing day, we start off slow and then build them up, but we start off with maybe 10 minutes and then build up to an hour, or maybe sometimes even overnight. We allow them access into the boxes. We run the hens through, and then they go crazy. The cocks will take a box, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. We don't mind, you know, it's the motivation. And then they'll take a hen into the box. Yearlings, they've never seen a box before until the first race. And it's like I say, it's part of the system, it's part of the motivation.
So the yearlings, you won't have these boxes open at all?
No. The first time the yearlings will ever know that there's a box in here will be the first race. They'll never know before that.
And I've noticed in here, again, you've got the perches, you've got everything shut. Interesting fact, these boxes, I see they're supposed to have wire in them, and we talked about this. They're supposed to have a wire, a bottom to them, so you can easy to clean. Now, I notice in these boxes you don't have this. Now, why is this?
No, so basically, when we first started on this system, we noticed that some of the pigeons would go, they fight because they see it's a new box, or a yearling wants to take a box that a 2-year-old had last year, or whatever the case may be. So they'll go in there and they'll fight, and then when they start to fight, sometimes we've had them with snapped flights. So we just remove the grills. We're not letting the pigeons in the boxes during the week anyway, so there's no cleaning involved. So we remove the grills just to sort of stop them from causing any damage to themselves.
Okay, so basically, again, as we say, a little bit of common sense, doing some observation.
Yep.
Now, I notice in this loft, I filmed to it, these white panels.
Okay.
What is this about?
So these are heating plates. They give out like a radiant heat. It's supposed to imitate the sunshine being in here, basically. So we don't really use them all season, but what will happen is roughly about 5 weeks before the target race, it coincides with when we bring the hens in to let them pair up. We'll turn the heaters on, and it'll keep it at a sort of constant temperature in here. So it'll be around about 20 degrees day and night. So there's no.
It doesn't fluctuate too much.
And we've got some fans in here that come on if it gets too hot. Ryan, I don't know if it makes a difference or not. It's something we've done for the last few years. The results have been fairly good, so we've just kept with it.
Now, I've noticed in these sections that these have sliding doors.
Yep.
Okay. But you don't slide them shut.
No, so obviously we can, if we want to section the birds off for whatever reason, we can. But we don't. We like the pigeons to be happy. When the loft was first built, there was even partitions in between these two, this section, and we had 8 cocks per section. But there was no atmosphere in the loft; it was lifeless.
Right.
So we removed the partition. We've opened the doors, and we let them have access all the way through the corridor, wherever they want to go, where they're happy. We've put perches up. There's 48 nest boxes through here. We've got additional perches. We've got motivational perches that come down on the sides here. They're scattered all around the loft. It's just about making it go crazy in here before we send them to a race.
And these, I know you said that you'll put bowls in the floor, little teepees in the floor. You want the pigeons to go to the race super happy. You create a little buzz of excitement, and it's not just for the hens, it's just creating new things.
Exactly. So they're separated all week. They want to get together, and like I say, once we open that door that's behind you, the one we just walked through, if the cocks want to go back into the hen section, so be it. Let them go back. They can go wherever they want. If they're happy in here, come in here. If they're happy over there, stay over there. Whatever makes them happy.
Now, also, when you're flying these cocks, I take it they've been starting to go out already. Yeah.
So we're in March, we're the end of March now, and these cocks have been going out for the last 3 months. Start them off slowly, I guess, is the norm for most people, and then we build them up, and then slowly but surely they build up. So when we first started letting them out, they might do 10 or 15 minutes, and then we gradually build them up till they're doing an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, or an hour and a half even, sorry. So, but No force flying. They do it if they want to do it.
So if they want to land, they want to pop off the loft.
Yep.
If they want to go down and pick on the grass, you're okay.
We're okay with
you
that.
give them their time. It's their time to be themselves.
It's their time. You know, we've tried flagging them. We've tried putting the sky dancer up, and all it's done is cause us more problems. They go further away.
Not happy. They're not happy.
They're not happy. We're chasing them away from their homes. I mean, we want to encourage the happiness in the loft. Why do I want to keep flagging them and chasing them away? You know, so I want them to be happy.
Again, common sense, and you can see here very intelligent pigeons. They are not showing any signs of, hey, the camera's here. Now, interesting question. Again, we are in this section, and you look to the floor. I know you have your feeders, but how do you drink the pigeons?
Same as the hens. So basically, they get their drink through a corridor. It's called a corridor drinker, but the pigeons land on the perch inside, and they can drink from inside the loft. These blue basket drinkers, again, we use them. We used to fill up these white drinkers here. We'd fill them right up, but occasionally you may get a bird spin round, mess in the water, and then you've got to waste all of that water. So
you do the smaller drinkers.
Smaller drinkers, twofold. It's basically, one, it imitates what they're going to be doing in the basket, and secondly, if anything gets, I replenish it more often. So I'm giving them fresh water more consistently.
Also in this loft, you see great ventilation. I see this loft faces the complete wrong direction that most people would say. It's a north loft. I have a north loft.
Faces north, yeah.
You let the light come in through the back a little bit, and you see, if you guys look up here in the top, you see the light coming through the plastic there, that little beam of light. Well, we were in here midday today, and the loft had good light, not direct sunlight in here, but nice light. Very no smell of pigeon. And we talk about this. Now, you have graded floors, and it looks like the grading on the floors is about maybe a foot off the ground.
About 18 inches, yeah.
18 inches, okay. And you've tried this is a great thing. You've tried cleaning them out at 9 months, at 6 months, at 3 months. What is the best time to clean them out?
So we try to clean them out every sort of 3 months.
Okay, now why is it 3 months?
Really, it's just the amount of pigeons we have in here. We keep around about 60 cocks, and after that sort of amount of time, where they're not messing in the boxes, it's all on the floor. So if you leave it too long, you start to smell that ammonia. Even though the loft is well ventilated, if there's too much muck on the floor, you'll start to get that smell, and that's no good for me. It's no good for the pigeons. So
you found that 3 months is that sweet spot.
It's around about the time. Sometimes it may be 4 months, maybe. So it just depends on the amount of birds that are in the section. And like I say, if I walk in here and I could smell anything, the floor girls come up, we clean them out, and there's no smell afterwards.
Okay, so you'll clean them about every 3 months. Again, anything special in the water that you give for these guys? Anything out of the bottle that these people need to know?
Today they're on there's an 11-1 product. It's like a multivitamin product that they're on. So they're getting that. It's Sunday today, so that's what they're getting. But during racing, it'll change. I mean, they'll get that on a Sunday during racing. We can go through what they have in the water. They have different things in the water. The pigeons that you're focusing in on at the moment, actually, there's an interesting story about these two cocks on the floor. They paired together. So we've got a couple that are happily together, and we call them Robbie and John. So one's called Robbie and one's called John, and that's a couple of our friends from Wales. They're named after them.
Okay, so let's move down the loft. Again, guys, you see he's got the heater here. Everything, it tells him exactly what's going on. Now, interesting thing, you showed me, even for motivation, how crazy you are. You'll pull out panels underneath the boxes.
Yeah, so like you said earlier, we'll put bowls on the floor. We'll make little sort of teepees and sort of hideaways where they can get into. And these boxes, they were installed after the ones either side. And down here we have like little sticks in here, and basically when certain races are coming up, we sort of just jam the stick in and just let the pigeons go in and
go underneath them and be happy.
And be happy.
And again, you have 48 boxes. For people wondering, you have 48 boxes, but you have what, 65 cocks in here?
60 cocks, yeah. I mean, we're not, we whatever we end up with at the end of the year, they go in here. I mean, if there was way too many, then we'd have to sort of like sort the numbers out. But it's basically we we have more cocks than there are boxes. That's the key, and the reason for that is we want the competition in here. We want them to be fighting over the boxes, fighting over the space. There's perches. Some of them will be on the perches. Some of them will be in the boxes. Some of them will be underneath. Some will be in the bowl on the floor. Most of them have sort of gravitated down this end because we're in here.
Okay, so my next question is, I take it that the pigeons go out through the door here?
Yeah, so either through the doors or through the windows.
Doors or the windows?
There's grids on the doors and windows at the moment because we like to have fresh air in here. So if it's a horrible day, if it's raining, if it's really overcast and not nice, then we'll keep the birds locked in. But if the sun's out and it's fairly warm, we'll open it up and promote the fresh air coming into the loft.
Okay, so now I see you've got your electronic pad goes here.
Yep.
Now how do you, because you don't fly through the window,
no.
How do you clock them? Could you show us how it's done?
So basically once the birds are out, these, I can sort of kind of show you, this would come off, the doors shut, we put the locks down. Same again this side. Obviously the grill would be on the floor by now, but we're doing
right. That's fine.
Just for the shut.
Pretend. Oh, look at this.
And then that slides across.
Yeah, you put that up. You lock it in with your piece of wood.
Piece of wood. And gets locked in there.
Wow.
And then the cocks just drop back in. This is real easy, real simple.
So that's how they come in. And what's great about this is now when they're all in, you can open this right back up, give them the air, or you can close the windows, whatever you want to do.
Exactly that. Yeah.
And you will adjust the windows depending on the temperature. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if the weather's not very nice, then we'll leave the doors and windows locked.
And guys, you just see what Kevin says. Take a look. Isn't that proof is in the pudding?
There you go.
Would you not call that proof is in the pudding?
There you go.
Right.
And what will happen now is there'll be 2 or 3 of them will go down there. And they'll start to fight over that space.
And you see the other cocks are looking. And guys, this is what we say here. It's all right here in front of you, but you have to take your time and look, and you have to observe. And I see happiness here. I've been in this loft. Happy pigeons. Look at the excitement. Look at the characters. Look at the characters here.
Not a hen in sight. There's not a hen in sight, but look at them. They're motivated.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine going to a bar with about 50 men
and no women?
And no women. And you wouldn't act like this. But you see it, and I see where you leave the bowl. Look at the cock go. He's climbing up into that bowl. Guys, I love seeing little tips and tricks that work. And this is one of those. Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. We bring it to you. We go the distance. We go the miles. Kevin, what you're doing here is fantastic. I know your father would be super proud.
Thank you.
Because it's great. And all the sections are the same. And you see it. You like that little bit of busyness. And guys, yes, you're going to say right now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, there's too many birds in this section. Guys, we're in here. We've moved the birds down here. Yeah. Once we move back, they will all move back. You see, though, from the drinkers, everything. Question, though, before we go.
Yeah.
And I like to give your bird some space. How hard will you road train the cocks?
Yeah, so it really varies, Ryan, sort of year to year. Yeah, different years, different sort of amounts of training. But at the moment, they're exercising well. So, this year the plan is we'll take them out to 12 miles first toss. We haven't even trained them yet. 12 miles first toss, and then we'll go straight to 30 miles. And if we can get 2 or 3 of those into them before we go to the race, I'm happy. So
pretty much, you don't overtrain them. You let the road do the work for them, basically.
They'll get fit through the races, Ryan. I mean, if I was a sprint man, maybe things would be different. Maybe I'd need to have them at a different sort of level before the season starts. But with what I'm looking for, in a few months' time, I'm happy just to get them in the races, get them home. It's good enough for me.
Hey, Kevin, as we say, always end on a high note. You've seen the hens, you've seen the cocks, you've seen, man, what haven't you seen? K&J, ZERAFA. Kevin, thank you for taking the time for showing this out, guys. Check out how motivation works right there in black and white. Kevin, you're the best, my friend. Thank you.
Cheers, Ryan.
Hey guys, Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. We hope you enjoyed that amazing loft tour. Please, reminder to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Until the next Loft Tour, thanks for flying with me. Bye for now.